It's alive! It's alive!
Hey guys, I think I finally figured it out. So in the past, I made some videos about utilizing customer events and pixels in Shopify, but the way I did it was I included a snippet in the theme file, and I also had the customer events pixel. I think the way Shopify intends for this mechanism to be implemented is solely as customer events. This way you don't mess with the theme at all, or if anybody has a different theme, it doesn't mess with any of um, the functionality of the customer events, right? So I think I've cracked the code. Thanks to everybody who downloaded my previous code, but I got a lot of emails, a ton of emails actually, where people were saying, I'm not seeing the purchase event. I don't see the view cart event. I don't see the remove cart event. Somebody said, um, you know, filling in credit card details or filling in shipping info happens more than once. Is there any way to prevent this? Well, I addressed all of this with this version, and this is way easier to install. And honestly, it works much, much better. And it's pretty much in line with what I think Shopify wants us to do. They don't want us to touch the theme at all, right? The theme is fragile, and there's so many themes out there. People have kind of designed their sites in many different ways. When we tag a site, we want to bypass the theme entirely, and that's really the beauty of customer events. So that's what's going on here. Let me show you how to implement this new version of the complete customer events tagging that I've come up with. And a lot of it was, derived from Shopify's documentation right here. So this is their documentation. Okay. And this is a really good video that kind of shows you how to implement these customer events. Here's, how you're subscribing to the checkout completed, to the payment info submitted. There's one problem with this though. And the problem is none of this is formatted for enhanced e-commerce. So what I had to do was one by one, I went through each of these Shopify events and I fired them one at a time, but then I correlated each one of these values to fit Google's GA4 enhanced e-commerce events. So for example, this one here, let's say view item, right? So it needs to look like this. This is according to the Google documentation. You need to fire view item. You need to have an array of e-commerce, and then you need to have a top level category of currency, value, and then an items array. You can see the way that Shopify is pushing these subscribes, it doesn't look like that at all. So I basically had to build the items array, and I had to see what it looked like in the console, and then kind of replicate all of this for GA4. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you. I basically made duplicate GA4 events, and I left these intact as well. So let me demonstrate. So if we go into Shopify, remember, so there's no messing with your theme at all anymore. So this is the way. If you implemented it the old way, do it this way. Honestly, it's better. Okay, so let's go over to, right, so let's try that again. So settings, customer events, add a custom pixel. You can call it whatever you want. Let's call it Google Tag Manager and data layer, and DL for data layer. Okay, add pixel. Now here's all my code. I will provide this to you. Paste it here. Look at that, 509 lines of lovely code. Okay, so you can see here the GTM container ID is a placeholder. So I'm going to go in there and get my GTM ID. So I just grab it from here typically. I grab it, just this part. And then I'll put it back in here. Okay, I will hit save. Okay. You have to connect your pixel after that. And that's it, it's done. So I'm also going to provide you with a GTM container. I rebuilt that as well. Okay, so here's what the container looks like. It's a little bit smaller, but you can see here I have, GA4 versions of every event. Okay, so for purchase, for example, and I'm passing enhanced conversions to the purchase event for GA4, and I'm not actually specifying any enhanced e-commerce data items individually. I'm just saying the data source is the data layer because I'm pointing it to exactly the Google documentation. I made it look exactly like this. So in Google Tag Manager, all I need to say is data layer because in the data layer, it matches this exactly. Okay. Okay, now let me finally demonstrate. So if we launch our store, view online store. So I've got some test products here. All right, let's go inspect. So I made a debugger. If we go here, so there's a page view that fires. Let's put this on too. And then if we go here, page viewed, here is the Shopify view item. And then here is the GA4 version. So this is what Shopify is sending. You can see it's not formatted properly. Here's the GA4 version. There's that enhanced e-commerce array. And here's the event, view item underscore GA4, right? So if we go to Google Tag Manager, view item, it's looking at the data layer, and then here it is, view item underscore GA4. Okay, so let's go back to our site. Add to cart. So that fires Shopify version, my GA4 version. Okay. Let's go to the cart. There it is, view cart GA4. The remove also works, right? Shopify version, my version, and all of this is connected to GTM as well. So let's do the checkout. Right, add to cart. View cart again. There it is, lovely. Checkout. It doesn't show up right away because I still have my payment, I have all my details in here. So if we go to checkout as a guest, there it is, begin checkout, and there's my version, begin checkout GA4. Again, aligns with enhanced e-commerce data. Let's put some details in here. Then you see here, add shipping info GA4. Okay, add shipping info GA4, and then it doesn't fire again. Okay. Okay, so that works. Put phone number there. Cash on delivery. You see, it's preventing it from firing again. Okay. I notice here it is firing twice, but what you can do in Google Tag Manager is just say here under add shipping info, we could just say once per event. Okay, So that won't double count. So we're okay. I mean, I tried to prevent it in the code. I think for the most part it does work, but GTM will prevent it as well. Anyway, let's go back to what we were doing. Complete order. Here we go. Let's look at this. Add payment info GA4. There's the purchase event and there's the purchase GA4 event. So that's my version. Okay, and look at this. So we've got enhanced e-commerce data. Click that. I'm grabbing this currency for the conversion tracking tag. Here's the customer data for enhanced conversions, grabbing that as well. And here are the various items that I'm passing, and here is the transaction ID and the value. And all of this gets passed on purchase GA4. So if you go here and look at purchase GA4, we can see here. So I'm passing this conversion value. There's the transaction ID. There's the currency, right? What I need you to do is replace the conversion ID and replace the label. Okay. Same goes for if you go over here to variables, replace GA4 measurement ID with yours, right? So go over to GA4, go over to admin, and then go to data streams. Click on this and just grab this. So just go copy and then put it here. Okay. And then there you go. So you can do some debugging now. So go back to, this is our thank you page, right? Everything is loaded properly. So we can go to the network tab, just type in collect. Okay, we can see all the various enhanced e-commerce events that fired. Yep, perfect. Let's try. Oh, you can use Tag Assistant actually, and see the conversion tracking tag fired. Okay, there's the ID, the label, the value came through, the currency came through. Under URLs, you can click that and look at this. You can look at everything individually here. OID, that's a transaction ID. Again, value, currency, event type is purchase. This EM parameter, that means enhanced conversion data is passing through to the conversion tracking tag successfully. So we did that correctly. And that's it. Everything works. I think this is a more robust implementation of the customer pixels. Again, you only need to put it in one spot, whereas before you had to have a snippet as well. Okay, stay subscribed, and thanks for bearing with me while I figured out all this stuff. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for reaching out. It really helped shape this version of this. Okay, so this is version 3. So implement away. Any questions, let me know.